I'm your host, Daniel Raza, and I'm a very excited host this weekend because we've got so much UFC to talk about. 217 is a great card, and I tell you what, it's the first time in a long time I feel as though we've got a UFC card where nothing's been pulled off. Nothing of note has been pulled off. We will be joining an expert in a bit to talk about this, but just to kind of like let you know what's going on, we've got Bisping versus GSP, we've got Rose Namajunas versus Joanna Jędrzejczyk, and we've also got Garbrandt versus Dillashaw. What a set of main events we have for you. I'll tell you what, I think we do have John Ferguson on the line with us right now. Is John there?
Yeah, I'm here, guys. How you doing?
How's it going, John? I'm really excited to see you today, man. We're not going to have a negative one today.
No negativity. Look, I'm buzzing to be here. Great to see you again, my friend, and all the listeners. Look, this weekend, UFC 217 is a card to get amped about. You said 3 fights straight there that are just, they're mega. Absolutely mega, mate.
No, absolutely, man. I mean, I'm looking forward, especially to the women's match between Namajunas and Jędrzejczyk, because it almost feels as though these two have been destined to meet each other in the octagon at strawweight as well. That's one that I'm looking forward to. Also, lower down the card, we've got other names which are just showing up. You know, if you're a casual fan, you look at it and you think, oh yeah, I recognise that guy, I recognise him. There's a lot of that going on as well, isn't there?
The thing is, we've got to look at the British side, or the British Isles. You've got Mark Godbeer fighting on the card against Walt Harris in a heavyweight matchup. So good luck to him on that side of things. You've got Joe Duffy with a absolute mountain against James Vick, who I see as a fantastic 155 matchup. Then, obviously, like you say, the main event, which is the Brit, Michael Bisping, the champion, defending his belt against GSP. And that storyline alone is absolutely fascinating. Will Bisping defeat GSP? Then he'll have on his legacy Dan Henderson, Anderson Silva, these greats of MMA on his record. Like you said, Rose Namajunas, who has got the potential to always be in that kind of top echelon. She's finally getting that title shot. She's facing, as she called herself, the Boogie Woman, Joanna Jędrzejczyk. She is an absolute nightmare for anyone. She is scary. I would never forget her birthday. I know that much.
Yeah, you don't want to be forgetting anything against her, mate. She would, I think, should give anybody a good fight. But I'll tell you what, man, that big fight, as you mentioned, Bisping versus GSP, this is amazing. And I've got the figure of 10 years stuck in my head, because 10 years since of course, George St. Pierre actually challenged for a world title. And also, one thing that's interesting about Bisping was he managed to spend about 10 years in the UFC without getting a title fight. Then all of a sudden, the guy goes in, defeats Anderson Silva, right? Goes in, wins a world title, and then, of course, dominates Dan Henderson. But there's a lot of these big names, big legends on Bisping's card. Is this going to be another case of Bisping just taking on somebody who's a little past his pass-by date?
I personally feel that Bisping's going to win. I do. I think that 4 years out for GSP, it's a big difference, different weight class. People need to realize Bisping is not a small guy. I've met Bisping. He's a he's a big middleweight. He's going to be about 210, 250 pounds. He's going to be hard work for GSP to handle. I think the power in the hands that he's got with Perillo that he's working with, I think he's going to be too much. I don't see any belts really changing hands. I think the fight I'm more excited about out of all the whole card is Garbrandt and TJ Dillashaw. There is a backstory there that is just, it's like watching a TV show, like watching EastEnders, and you hear that boom, 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 and then it leads to this event. It's going to be amazing, people. This card, you've got to watch. You've got to stay up live. You've got to somehow find a way to watch it. It's a great way to get you into MMA. You've also got Jorge Masvidal against Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, a fantastic matchup in 2 different styles. It's just absolutely fascinating matchup, that one as well, people.
Yeah, and also you got Hendricks against Costa as well on that card. Of course, part of the pay-per-view section. And, as you know, Garbrandt versus Dillashaw, a lot of people might not know, but former teammates, former corner mates, essentially. What has brought along this rivalry, and how have they managed to end up in the ring with each other?
It stems back. They trained together, Team Alpha Male, and now you've got Cody Garbrandt, who's still there. What happened was TJ Dillashaw was training there with them, and a guy called Dwayne Bang Ludwig came along and was their head coach. He was teaching them X, Y, Z, taking the reins, and him and TJ really got a bond and a connection. And Dwayne eventually wanted to move, and he did. He left and went to Colorado, wanted to teach a martial arts center. So TJ split his camp up between each fight to go and train with Dwayne, and eventually he said, "I want to go and train full time with him." There was a bit of, I felt like Team Alpha Male felt like he was maybe deserting them, like he turned their back on them. So there was friction, and Cody never got on with him, it seems, and the two of them just Yeah, the two of them now just kind of just having go, just bickering at each other, bickering. But the thing is, the matchup itself, the skill set is phenomenal. Cody hits like a freight train. DJ's got the wonderful kind of switching the footwork, different kind of striking. You're going to see an absolute classic here, absolute classic.
Yeah, and they're both around the same size as well, which means there's a chance as well that this could go the full distance. So we're talking about two guys with good, like, significant strikes as well on them. I think Cody Garbrandt, as the champion as well, is undefeated, 11-0. Is this the match that perhaps he lets go of that record? Because it's got to happen eventually.
I don't think so. I don't see any belt changing hands. I think Cody has got the boxing and the patience. He's got the power to time TJ's footwork and head movement to then just pop him. Similar to what Cody did to Dominic Cruz. If you watch that matchup, people, it was similar to that. Cody wasn't being overly aggressive. He was just watching him, timing, pop. And then was just landed. You know, it takes a couple of rounds to get the timings in, but because they've trained together, he might get it a little bit sooner. But I definitely see, I see Cody getting that win there, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be a good match as well. That one's going to be one which, as you say, serious passion involved, serious sort of like backstory, as you say. We could well see an upset too, though. You never know when it comes to matches with this kind of a backstory. I'll tell you what, though, Namajunas and Yurtseven, that's a fight that's been in the making for a little while. Namajunas, it's a second strawweight fight, actually, as well, isn't it? But the thing with Joanna is that she is trying to get above that Ronda Rousey record of 15-0, isn't she? And this is the match where she's going to be wanting to put her name on the map and say, look, I'm a star too. This is Joanna's time. Is this the match which cements her legacy?
She's a star anyway. If I'm honest, she is a huge star. Like, if you go to Poland, she is ridiculously popular. In America, they love her as well. She's trained at ATT in Florida, so that's like her skill sets went through the roof. She's trying to beat, like, say, Ronda Rousey's. She's going to equal Ronda Rousey's title defenses, and then she's wanted to surpass this, become great in her own right. I think that Rose Namajunas, she has now everything's starting to click, but I would have liked to see them maybe have one or two more fights, just one or two more before she got JJ. I just wanted to round things off a little bit. She absolutely starched karate hottie Michelle Watterson with a beautiful finish, head kick, and then rear naked choke. But the thing is, I think Watterson would have lost to JJ. I just feel like Rose, she's still very young as well. This is the beautiful thing about Rose Namajunas. I think she will be champ. I think she will start to hold that belt for a while, but I think it's just a little bit out of her reach, just a little bit. Because Joanna is, I swear, she is scary. That woman has no fear, no regard for what you have, your skill set. She does not care who you are and what you do. She hits and doesn't stop. She's got great conditioning and great movement. She is a phenomenal fighter to watch. I watched her before she signed with the UFC, said she was a big deal, and I was super pumped when she got in there.
No, definitely. This is it. She's going to make a good case for herself to say she's the world's toughest woman, I tell you that. She's definitely one of the most popular in Poland. But I tell you what, that's another fight. As you say, you reckon, of course, no championship change in hands. But I tell you what, we've got a couple of minutes left. So I do want to get into the GSP versus Bisping fight a little bit more. GSP, he's not a natural 185-pounder. He has come back after a long time out, and he is moving up a weight class. There is a serious risk of him getting gassed. He is not making that distance. He needs to get Bisping early, doesn't he?
I think GSP's always got good conditioning. That was his thing at 170. He was always very strong, very fit, could keep going for 5 rounds, had that strength. But the thing is, when you go up a weight class, he's fighting a guy in Bisping who is a freak athlete. Bisping doesn't call himself an athlete, but his conditioning is absolutely second to none. Bisping has a resting heart rate of 36 beats a minute or something. He might as well be dead. It's insane. He is so well conditioned. So he's lost that battle with the conditioning side of things. He won't tire out Bisping. The other thing is, like you say, the size. GSP used to walk around about 190. He might be 195 maybe. He might put a little bit on, but Bisping's going to be bigger. Bisping is a bigger guy. When you've got a bigger guy you're trying to take a bigger guy down, you're trying to manhandle a big guy, it takes a lot more effort. So I don't think Bisping's going to have that kind of jab, takedown, out-wrestle him. I don't think he'll outstrike him either. I just think Bisping's going to be better combinations and be too powerful as well.
Do you think Bisping's perhaps gotten under his skin a little bit? I've been watching the press conferences. Bisping's the far better trash talker, isn't he? I mean, GSP's just kind of like sitting there in his French accent going, oh, he's an angry man, he's just angry. He's just smiling, taking it all. But I think Bisping's gotten under his skin, seriously.
I do. I think Bisping is a beautiful fighter, and that's pretty much what he does. That's all he does. GSP is the model professional, but Bisping is a guy people will miss when he's gone because he is a smack talker. But the thing is, I like it, and yeah, I don't know if he got under his skin. I think he might have done a little bit of a couple of things he says, but I think GSP's kind of so well experienced. He can just kind of switch it off and goes, that's what Bisping does. Get over it.
That's it, John. Well, I'll tell you what, we've got about 20 seconds left, mate. If you can wrap this up, let us know who you think is going to win. I know you've already said it, but I'll tell you what, give us the round, give us the way this victory is going to happen for Bisping.
I think Bisping, probably later round, third and fourth round, I think he'll get a TKO finish. I think he'll just beat on GSP with the power and the size and finish him off, definitely.
All right, John. We'll tell you what, thanks for joining us. And I would suggest to everybody to listen to John's podcast, MMA Huddle, as well. Fantastic project he has going on. And John, good luck for UFC 217 tonight. It is, of course, going to be a fantastic event. So, yeah, stay up for it, man. Have a fun night.
I will do, brother. Have a great time. Thanks for your time, mate.
Cheers, man. And